A hospital checkup in Peshawar for another victim of the crippling disease. His parents did everything they could to keep the 2-year-old boy healthy, even defy the Pakistani Taliban. The father and uncle don't want to show their faces or identify their village 4 hours away on the border with Afghanistan. The Taliban are there, powerful and armed, and they have banned the polio vaccine. Terrified but determined, the young uncle smuggled the drops into the village. But it takes several rounds and he couldn't get enough doses.
When you were bringing the vaccine from the hospital to your village, weren't you afraid of the Taliban?
We wanted to vaccinate our children at any cost, they tell me. We blame the government first. They abandoned us in the tribal areas. This is now the government's response to international pressure to stem the disease. The army, for the first time, helping to enforce vaccination in parts of the tribal areas. An ongoing insurgency here has meant patchy access for health workers. But the goal is now to seal off North Waziristan from the rest of the country. The Taliban are in charge here, and it's where 70% of polio cases have emerged, an uncontrolled outbreak. There's been no polio vaccination for 2 years. And there won't be unless the government gets access through military operations or peace negotiations.
If negotiations succeed, we'll be able in polio eradication and to provide vaccine to the children of Waziristan.
The health of thousands of children is now caught up in politics. The Minister of Interior says fighting polio is a top priority. What is your strategy to get access to the children in North Waziristan and get them the vaccine against polio?
I said, give me a few days. On both accounts, we need to...
Still no strategy for a crisis that started 2 years ago. But is it on the agenda of talks with the Taliban? Is polio on the agenda of talks with the Taliban?
Off the record. Off the record. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Pakistan is now facing international travel restrictions, and it's the real reason there is finally a sense of urgency.
From the desperately poor tribal areas down to the cities, polio has become a problem for all Pakistanis. Every single one of those travelers is now going to need a vaccine before getting on a plane. There are 10 million international travelers every year, and the pressure is building on the government.
The restrictions will stop the spread of polio outside Pakistan, but in North Waziristan, a generation of children is still waiting for the life-saving drops. Kim Ratas, BBC News, Islamabad.